Hello, this is a brief update on Tapeshnik project. First of all, thank you so much for all the positive feedback that I received. I also want to apologize to everyone who thinks that possibly this is a viable audio tape deck replacement, because it absolutely isn't. I cannot possibly produce the mechanics that would be needed for precise tape movement. So, as a matter of fact, what I wanted to talk about is that as it stands, it's not even looking very good for data, and I will quickly show why. So in the last update, the mechanism did not even have a head, and now you can see that it has one, and it is even actually, it's actuated, but not automatically present, but it was. I will quickly show you. This is what it's looking like from the behind, and here there was a servo which I currently had to remove because basically it doesn't fit anymore, but it was here. You can see the glue, all high-tech, and this little pin, which is a screw, it was just a common like thing that we would see in an RC plane or something. It would push it up and retract, and this spring pulls it down. So currently it's just the spring, and it's okay. It's pretty solid. Here there is this bit which also pulls the whole assembly plate down so that it's fixed, at least somewhat fixed, and it pivots on this little screw, so it's all very bare bones. There was no CAD design of any sort. It's all just plain old Dremel and pieces of old PCB board. And this is the head. It's a 4-track head, not 4-track, maybe like a 4-track, but not reverse stereo head. But I'm also only using one channel currently. Many people also predicted that the flutter with this mechanism without a capstan would be absolutely terrible, and yeah, they were spot on. So I experimented quite a lot. I tried probably every possible parameter that's available in SimpleFog. I tried different control loops. I tried turning the PID regulator, and yeah, it all helps a little bit, but just marginally. I also had to add these heavy washers, and as usual with a lot of glue, and there are also felt pads underneath. So the expectation is that the felt pads will eat some of the high frequency vibrations, and the washers will provide some inertia, so that would compensate a little bit for the clogging and jitter in the motors. Whether this helps or not, I cannot really measure. And another change that I also had, this was the old power supply, and it seemed like it's enough, but there was no headroom for experimentation. So currently I use this. So this is just a trigger which provides 9 volts at some considerable amperage, so the motors have some oomph now. Alright, so let's put it together, and I will let you listen for a moment what a test signal sounds like. Some foreshadowing, maybe choir of deranged chipmunks would be a nice description. Yes, and I will try and power it up. Hopefully everything will be smooth. So the vibro initialization, some motor movement. I also have to keep two terminals connected at the same time because the amplifier board also needs a command and this board takes commands, so a huge mess on my desk currently. And let's play. I am just giving a command to play turbo speed. Yeah. Right, and this is what it sounds like. So how bad is it really? I'll stop now. How bad is it really? It's interesting. There is no one answer to this question because it depends on a variety of things. If I were to record audio, obviously it would not be very serviceable. For data, there is a variation in momentary tape velocity about 50%, but it never happens momentarily, so it goes like in wow 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 fashion, and it can be adjusted for, but it's still not great. However, since I have a lot of tracks, I can use one of the tracks to record the clock, and with the clock signal I'll have much more freedom. There will be no need to recover anything to speak of except for the actual plain clock signal, and the speed variation will not really be that important anymore. So yeah, that's the current plan. Also the current feedback, it's not implemented. There are just some shorts of the current sensing resistors and no amplifiers installed, but it's possible. Maybe that makes sense to implement it. I just can't be bothered at this moment. And what I think maybe really is worth doing is 3D printing these adapters so that I can center them a little bit better and probably put even heavier washers here, at least on this on the take-up spindle. I also considered changing the kinematics seriously. So, for example, moving this. Let me turn it a little bit. Moving this motor up here and replacing this one with just a spindle with a flywheel. But that's a lot of effort, and honestly, I do not really want to do that because the whole idea was to make it as plain and simple as possible, and it's already not really there, so I don't want to complicate things too much. Anyway, thank you. Please come again. See you later. Goodbye.